Hi, Chris Paff from Chris Paff Tech Media, back in the Blue Room at Gamma Illusion. And our guest now is Juan Fuentes Fernandez. He's the LALIGA delegate to the Nordic countries. Welcome, Juan, to Northern Waves TV.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Norigin Media, for organizing and for having me here.
Yeah, it's so great to see you here because, of course, LALIGA is such a massive brand which represents so much and more than just football or soccer. But you're really taking this incredible, really digital, multi-platform brand into countries that are already, very, very digitally sophisticated. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey in LALIGA. We realized that we needed to be more digital, and we are a multi-target brand, so we target the world. We target a market which is 5 billion people, which are football fans, probably the largest market in the world. So we need to be in different spaces, in different countries, and adapting to the local market. So highly digitized markets as the Nordics, we need to be on digital spaces, and when we go to Africa or the Middle East, where penetration of internet is maybe 50% or even lower, we need to be there as well, but with other means and through other ways, more physical activations or with broadcasters directly that are broadcasting our matches there. So the strategy is different depending on the country, and of course, we are here in highly digitized market trying to do the best we can.
Well, it looks like you do more than try. It looks like you've succeeded in ways, and you've been doing this for 7 years, and I know you're based in Copenhagen. What have you learned over that period of time in terms of, well, first of all, awareness, I guess, of LALIGA in the Nordics, but also what you may have learned from Nordic service providers and even technology companies?
About LALIGA is interesting because I think the trigger for a Nordic fan to become fan of LALIGA, it depends as well from Sweden to Denmark. I am based in Denmark, which is the country, the market I know the best. And it's happened, the main trigger was in the 90s when Michael Laudrup, a Dane, played both in Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, that we became very popular. But in general, in the Nordic markets, I really attach a lot of success thanks to tourism. A lot of Nordic people, their number one touristic destination is Spain, and especially its places in the south, and they spend there most of their summers when they were young. So they eventually became fans, not even of Real Madrid or FC Barcelona, of Sevilla, Betis, and other clubs, smaller clubs in the south of Spain. And this eventually as well made LALIGA grow because, like those people which were Nordic people in Spain during summers, now they are LALIGA fans and they are back in the Nordics, they live here, and they are really, a really strong market for us as well.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic, mix, because I think that what we've seen even through certain clubs, and certainly FC, Barcelona is an exemplar of bringing, great digital product to fans, but that this has been this globalization of LALIGA that you are able to really leverage this market, which is smaller but very affluent.
Very affluent, exactly. So here, we have noticed, and of course we learned through our business intelligence and market analytics department, that the OTT penetration in the Nordics is one of the highest in the world. Here, another interesting fact that we try to explore and to capitalize is that independency rates of people when they leave their household to be their own household is very young. So here people, Nordics under 20, 24 years old, they become a household. And this is very relevant to us because when they become a household, we need to tap them because they become a potential customer for LALIGA or TV2 in Norway or TV4 in Sweden. In other countries, in Spain, the independency rate is almost 30 when you are 30 years old. So our strategy in Spain has to be different than our strategy in the Nordics, just because here, when we can tap into these households, new households, is when the Nordic people are in their 20, 24 years old. So we really need to adapt, understanding each market, our strategy, user acquisition in coordination with our broadcasters to this market, different market perspectives, and
Can you give us any numbers in terms of consumption of LALIGA content in the Nordics, say in the last 5 years?
Yeah, it has grown. I mean, it depends on the market, but we have changed our partners as well. Now we are with TV2 in Denmark and in Sweden, with TV4 in Sweden, and with MTV in Finland.
Okay.
And all of them are big players, you know, really strong broadcasters, which already have a really strong distribution In most of the countries in the Nordics, they are leaders or close to be leaders. So it has helped us a lot to raise the awareness and audiences as well of La Liga.
Yeah, and of course, we're coming off of a FIFA World Cup year. And has that helped you any coming into 2023 and beyond?
I mean, World Cup is a moment where everybody is, very interested in football. Now it's going to the US. So as well, we try to capitalize as La Liga in the World Cup. We try to highlight, if you analyze the final of the World Cup, most of the players in the final of the World Cup were from La Liga. So They are La Liga players. So as well, the World Cup is a very interesting momentum for us to try to show like the business model of La Liga, which is developing really strong grassroots and talent that is nurturing Argentina. If you analyze the Argentina squad, most of them are from La Liga. So we take the momentum and then we try to expand it to generate more awareness towards La Liga.
It's tremendous, and of course we have Euro 2024 coming up, and I would think that that's another opportunity for you to leverage what you've learned.
Exactly. Yeah, World Cups are big moments for us as well, and we try as well to open conversations and to highlight as well how the talent in Spain of La Liga is as well nurturing those national teams, both in Euro Cups, in World Cups, but as well in African Cups or in Asian Cups or in American Cups, that how our talent, it really plays an important role in those cups.
Which is fascinating because it puts you individually as well as La Liga, but particularly you individually as really this global, if you will, digital ambassador for the sake of this event. And since you mentioned, Africa and Middle East, I just have a question. What do you think of Africa as really a comer in terms of both digital and OTT and then La Liga?
I think it depends. In Africa, you have several different markets. You have North Africa, Middle East as well, which is very different. It's Pan-Arab language, so it's very different to Sub-Saharan Africa as well. So it's very fragmented. That's why as well we have, I think it's 11 people all around Africa to take care of the different markets. I think it's promising. And of course, I think, they will be like later adapters of trends that we are seeing here, such as OTT and so on, because in many countries, the penetration of OTT or internet is still slow. But I think sooner or later, they will adapt a lot of the technologies that we are seeing these days here.
Exactly, because of course, my experience with streaming in Africa is usually that goes through the carriers. Yeah. And of course, while we have Telenor here, among other carriers, and Telia, who have shown the way in terms of digital TV product in the Nordics. So it may just be a small matter of time. But.
Yeah, and it's also very interesting to analyze, for instance, in Egypt, where I was based, the penetration of smartphones in a country like Egypt is really, really high. It's around 95%. People wouldn't have a TV because it's too expensive for them, but they will have a smartphone. And if you have a smartphone, you have a window to entertainment. So, every market has a connotation that is very interesting for us to try to capitalize or to build a strategy together with, telecom providers or OEMs as well. So it really depends on the country to understand how we can tap into the market. So we go country by country, understanding the scenario and
brilliant.
Developing strategies.
It's really, really fascinating to see what you're doing. And of course, Northern Waves TV is just that kind of event where we can talk with the innovators of the innovators, if you will. Is this your first time at Northern Waves? Yeah. How do you like it so far?
It's great. I learned about this event, and that was also part of my talk today. When I was analyzing a year ago, one of the panels, I saw it online, about the challenges of the media industry, about piracy, segregation, the golden age of content. So I found it really interesting, the panel. It was with broadcasters. So this is why I got in touch with the organization and they invited me to speak, because I think it's been discussed in this forum, really important matters and topics for the shake of the industry. And as La Liga, I think we need to be part of this.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to me because, of course, I look at La Liga as really a brand and an experience more than just straight sports. But of course, that's driving so much of the production and consumption anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't share today because it's such a long keynote, our diversification strategy. But now in La Liga, we are in the field of food and beverage. We have our own restaurants, like the NBA Cafe, for instance. We have a museum in Madrid, and we're opening more all around the world. We have a musical festival. So we are jumping into different business units and sectors which in a way are related to football, and we are trying to capitalize on them. And also using the main assets of Spain, such as tourism or food and beverage, where Spain is as well #1, to try to capitalize on those. So we just opened a new museum in Madrid, Legends, which is owned by LALIGA, almost 50% of it. And at the end, a museum is a touristic product. And as LALIGA, from all the inflow from this museum, we are generating revenue from us. And in the museum, you can see t-shirts from more than 400 different players from all around the world. So we are.
Is that open now?
Yeah, it's open in Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have t-shirts there, not only from La Liga, which is interesting. You have t-shirts from the Premier League. You have t-shirts from the Serie A, from the League One. You have also one floor is dedicated to the FIFA museum.
Wow.
So that's another thing that I think is interesting to highlight. We are inclusive. The museum is mostly owned by La Liga in a 45%, I think. But we are inviting other sports properties. Come and this is your house where your football legends can as well leave the t-shirts for everybody to see.
I can't wait to go. I mean, yes, I'm an FC, I'm a Barca supporter, but we'll go to Madrid to see that. And of course, you're from Galicia, so I hope to have some good pulpo there as well, I'm sure. This has been a great talk with Juan Fuentes Fernandez from La Liga.
Thank you.